All right. You are now rocking with the best, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you so much for tuning in to another exciting, exhilarating episode of and new wrestling podcast. I am, of course, your host, Katie Drummond. I am here with the four horsemen. Let's go around the table and introduce yourselves. Say what's up to the people. No C.
Welcome back to the greatest coverage of professional wrestling on God's green earth. I am Patrick No C Walker, aka the kayfabe of and new wrestling, the best thing smoking. What's going on?
Say what's up to the people, Josh.
Know your role and shut your mouth. I am Josh, the Josh Rodriguez of Film School University, and you are listening to, without a shout of a doubt, the greatest wrestling podcast there is, there was, there ever will be.
And rounding out the team, we have the one and only Mr. Will Steele. Say what's up, Will.
I just got one question for everybody, man. Is there any dogs in the house? We back, baby. We back.
Absolutely. And I'm glad that you came back to that intro because I'm going to skip around a little bit, right? We have some news to talk about.
We do.
But I'm just going to go ahead and throw the audible right now. We just came off of the season premiere of Monday Night Raw with a very big fatal four-way intercontinental battle to see who was going to challenge Bron Breakker. And before we get into the news, I have one question for everybody, and we'll go through this really quickly. Is Bron Breakker the best microphone on Raw?
No.
Who's better?
On Raw?
Man, you got
On
Drew,
Punk is on
there.
Raw. McIntyre is on Raw. Right? So, I mean, those are your top two mics on Raw. When Seth Rollins comes back from his injury hiatus, Seth is right there.
He's different, right?
He's much improved
in a different way.
He's also much improved because when he first got to Raw from NXT, I even commented on this. The only thing that really needed obvious improvement was how he flowed on the mic, getting that microphone charisma. Because I said it, I think on one of our episodes where I was like, maybe they, and I think Katie said it as well, maybe they should get him a manager, right? But kudos to Bron Breakker because in a short period of time, he's one of the most entertaining mics.
It's very entertaining, yeah.
In the industry right now. So is he the best? No. Top five, yes. In Raw, we're speaking only on Raw.
Right, yeah, because
top five,
there's right. So I'll go to Steele next, and I just want to, do you share that opinion that he's not the best, but he's growing?
Yeah, we just listed off all the ones that are better. And look, I mean, I hope I ain't derailing anything, but Gunther is becoming one of my favorites to listen to. Week in, bro. He's so petty. He said, "Hey, Brett, you're my second favorite to Bill
Goldberg."
I fell off my chair, bro.
I love it.
The level of disrespect. You say that to this man's face in his front yard.
At his crib, yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. So, yeah, you know, he might not be, he's not up there with the other guys, but he's so petty. He's number one in that area, so.
I think Josh feels where I'm coming from, though. Like, as far as entertainment value of the new breed, I guess you can call it. Is he there for you?
To me, he just has a different cadence than every single wrestler. He carries himself in a different way that is like, I'm gonna beat your ass, and that's the promo. That's what it feels like. There's no storyline. There's no storyline.
Like a former Steiner.
Listen, Josh, what did he tell Ilya Dragunov yesterday? He was like, "There's no business to finish here. The business was finished when I'll beat your ass." He's like, now you're more than welcome to win this tournament, and I'll beat your ass again.
Yes,
like, God damn.
Like he's just about hands. Like, that's it, man. And I think in that way, he's a unique microphone. Yeah. He's handling his promos in a very different way, and I loved how they set up Bron Breakker. You know, it's a tournament to face off with him at I think it's Bad Blood, right, for the Intercontinental Championship.
Yeah.
So the way that they involved him in it was brilliant. They had him basically do promos with every single challenger, and that was just genius. And like we said before, it's a different cadence that he's attacking these motherfuckers with. He is just about his business, and he's about hands right now.
Yeah. There was a subtle moment when he was talking to Braun Strowman, and he was like,
that was a good one.
You're a monster. I see why they say this shit. still gonna kick your fucking ass. Like, I mean, it was so fucking. That's what I
Bro
love.
said not all monsters are 7 feet 999 pounds. I was like, damn, man, he killing.
Yeah, and I hear what you're saying. Like Drew was phenomenal on the mic. I keep hearing how great CM Punk is. Like, to me, he's kind of had the same routine since he's been back. Every time he does a whole I get what you guys grew up with CM Punk, so you've seen his entire career.
This is face
now
Punk.
He's doing the right, exactly.
This is face Punk.
You're gonna see a different.
You haven't seen pipe bomb Punk,
right? Yeah. So I will defer to the experts on that, but I just think that before too long, maybe if we check back in 2 years, I think that the opinion will change. There's just something about the way that he carries himself.
He's refreshing.
I think for this age of wrestling, I think he's going to be that guy for the red brand, assuming he stays on the brand.
Even with Punk as face, there are moments where he goes off script and on the mic and completely annihilates whoever he's talking to. And lately it's been Drew. But there was one time early in the rivalry with him and Drew, when he wasn't cleared yet, Punk, it wasn't cleared yet. So Drew is sitting there, trolling Punk. He's on the announcer table. He's sitting down with his legs crossed, doing the Punk sit down, and Punk is in the ring. And Drew is just going off calmly. And he's like, I'm the chosen one. Who do you think you are coming back to this promotion? And Drew off script. Drew was like, who said you're the chosen one? Say his name. Punk said that. Punk was like, say his name. Who told you you're the chosen one? Unbeknownst to a lot of people,
Vince.
He was talking about Vince McMahon. He was daring him to say Vince McMahon. And that's why Drew had that goofy look on his face like, I fucking hate you. I fucking hate you.
That's a great callback.
Yes. Punk, even face Punk can get nasty, but wait until you see heel Punk. That's different.
When he dips into the meta, when he dips into the behind the kayfabe of it all,
right?
That's when it's like a shoot promo. That's whenever he
shines. Said, say his name. Who told you? Say his name.
And we forgot who he got on. Was it Michael Cole that he was like, you said my real name when he called him Phil? Was that Michael Cole that was announcing when he did that?
I think it was.
So I could definitely see what you guys are saying. I can't wait to see that extended version of him. Obviously, last night he was not on the episode of Monday Night Raw, but there was so much news just this past week that all led up to this. Is obviously WWE week on USA Network, because now for the very first time there's a brand new season of Raw. We're recording tonight on Tuesday. It's a brand new season of NXT, and SmackDown finally is out of the clutches of the Fox network.
Free at last. Thank God Almighty.
We're free at last. We are finally away from Fox Broadcasting. Good riddance. Hopefully never see you again.
Get out of here.
5-year contract when it comes to SmackDown being on USA. USA is not holding on to Raw. We all know what's going to happen. It's moving on to Netflix. So that brings up the news that No C broke for us yesterday on Sporting News. They heard us. They listened to and knew. We went crazy. We had the shorts, and I was like, why the fuck is Raw for 3 hours every week? Raw is not going to be for 3 hours every week.
Thank God.
Coming in October, they are going to shrink it down to 2 hours. And I did some research, and I did find out that is not going to be the staple for Netflix. Netflix will have various length shows. They're not going to, because it's Netflix. You're streaming it. Right. So they don't have to worry about, how many commercial slots they sell and all that kind of stuff. So Raw is actually going to be various length when it comes to Netflix. But there was a rumor that's going around that the staff of WWE Raw found out when we did. Like, they didn't tell their staff. Yeah, they didn't tell their staff that they were going to be shrinking it to 2 hours. So I don't know if this means like jobs were getting cut, or, you don't have to show up for work, early, or you don't have to stay late. But
Ben Roethlisberger gif.
So there's a lot of things going on when it comes to WWE Raw. But what are y'all thoughts about it going to 2 hours?
Well, first of all, shouts out to Josh. He was the one that put that bug in our ear, because with the hectic nature of what we're doing on the other side of each of our coins, that one blew right past me. So appreciate that to Josh. And then, of course, I broke it for the Sporting News, the WWE side of things. We have that relationship with A&W and the Sporting News. Shouts out to TSN. But I guess they saw the fact that KD's rant on his short about it being 3 hours, and then our podcast, because KD's short is still to this day the highest viewed short that we have. So that is to say that so many people agree that we were all tired of 3 hours, and a lot of it was fluff for what could have been an hour and 45 minutes or a 2-hour show max. If you can execute it in 2 hours on NXT, you can execute it for 2 hours on SmackDown. No reason you can't execute it for 2 hours on Raw. So this news is stupendous, sensational, and superb, and I for one love it. It's about fucking time.
Yeah, let's go, man. Let's go. We've been waiting for this for I don't know how long, since the PG era, right? With it going to 3, and then you just had these long segments with the big show. You know what I mean? Like I'm so done with that. I'm glad to see that, and it's better for the brand too. You're getting the right people on. I hope it's not an hour of Judgment Day and then an hour of the Wyatt 6. You know what I'm saying? Like as great as the Wyatt 6 part would be, I just am ready to get some more diversity with Raw, and I think they're kind of playing to that now, where it's like you don't even have to see the wrestlers every single week. Like you're not seeing CM Punk every single week. I would love to see these guys get some more time off, because they're working 300 days a year, if not more. And it'd be nice to kind of let it breathe a little bit.
Unless your name is Pete Dunne, because then you're on every single show everywhere. Like he how does he fly from Calgary to Florida to be in the NXT match versus
that man is grinding.
That man has a work ethic that is like he works for Ant Newton.
You a butch.
And he's starring in videos. Wait, no, that wasn't him.
You're a little foot butch. Shout out to Trick Williams.
That video, even my 10-year-old is running around saying that he peeked his head in the door and is like, Littlefoot butch. I'm like, hold on now,
you a butch.
Slow down. That wasn't the only news that we got though this week about WWE on TV. We have word that the WWE has filed for the trademark of WWE Saturday Night Main Event.
Facts.
The prime time show is coming back. It was a staple back in the 80s and the 90s on NBC. And now we have learned that the contract that WWE signed with Universal, because Universal owns NBC, USA Network, it's like all under one big umbrella. That contract contained 4 Saturday specials to be on NBC. So it appears that we're going to get once every season a WWE Saturday Night Main Event on NBC. Whether or not it's going to be late in the day, like a 9 o'clock or a 10 o'clock show or whatever the case may be, we are getting more WWE, and I don't think anybody has a complaint about that.
It all depends how they do it. We used to have Sunday Night Heat. I don't know if you guys remember that. And Sunday Night Heat was like the C show, so they just do people. And then there is main event. If you guys remember, when you go to a live event, it's before the taping. So if they do it that way, I'm not a fan. But if they actually put their heart into this thing, it could be fun to see that. Definitely if they do a callback, because Saturday Main Event was a main staple of wrestling back in the 80s.
Yeah, I agree with Will, and I'll just add that I'm curious to see how much of a commitment they're going to throw at this, which is kind of exactly what Will is saying, in that when you're talking about a Saturday night audience, you're talking about a skeleton crew, right? As compared to Monday nights, when you have so many people glued to their TVs, and Tuesday nights. As KD, specifically from running your website, but as the week goes on, primetime hours draw fewer viewers. Right. So in order for SmackDown to pull off what it's pulling off, there's a reason Cody Rhodes and the Bloodline and Roman Reigns are on SmackDown.
Yeah.
It's because it's hard for Friday nights to draw as many viewers as a Monday night with Monday Night Raw. So I say that to say, when it comes to Saturday night, if they put their heart and soul into it, like Will is saying he hopes they do, and don't give up on it too early, then I could see it working. But they are going to have to work through the very obvious challenge of getting asses on, couch pillows every Saturday. Well, not every Saturday night, but at least once every season. And I don't think it's going to be hard when you talk about it that way. So if you're talking about a weekly thing, that's a challenge. But if you know that you're going to do it once a quarter, then you can build up to it, and you can treat it like a baby PLE.
A PLE, exactly. Yep.
Yeah.
That's a good point.
100%. I think the difference here from Sunday Night Heat or main event is that it's on a giant network. I think that has a lot to do with it. And also the fact that it does have like a primetime PLE spot. Saturday nights are what that's for. So it might be a great addition to do something in between PLEs, and maybe it's not even 3 hours like all PLEs are. What if it's like an hour and a half or 2 hours?
Right. Yeah, and if they drop it, I would assume what they're going to do is they're going to drop it as in betweens of the big 4 PLEs, right? Because we know how those are spaced out. It's like what, January, April, August, November, right? That's generally the rhythm of how those go. So if you take the couple months in between, like you go from January and then you do a Saturday night in March, then that, allows that some space to breathe, and you can really build that up. And it's not going to be 5 big PLE matches. Maybe you have 2 main event matches, and the championship changes hands here or there. But I can definitely see, based on the contract and what they're going to be promising to NBC, they're not giving this to NBC to have bullshit matches on, right? It's not going to be all filler. They're going to have to give them a title change here or there. Some kind of big event is going to have to happen. So I'm excited for it. More wrestling all the time. It makes more work for us, but we do what we love, so I'm definitely in for this.
Right. And I mean, it's an embarrassment of riches if you're a professional wrestling fan, especially one of the WWE, because that means there will be at least 4 weeks out of the year where you will have wrestling on Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, if you're tuning into Speed,
right,
Friday, and then a main event on Saturday. That's a fantastic fucking week. And if there's a PLE, maybe they throw that on Sunday or something. Yeah, this is most definitely something you can count me in for.
So listen, I said that this has been a very busy week. That's not the only news that we have. We talked about it last show, and we've been wondering, like, we had the return in SummerSlam, and then we had him getting out on the Bloodline the following week, and then the Bloodline got out on him, and we haven't seen Roman Reigns since. And as we predicted, with SmackDown moving to USA, Roman Reigns will return to the screen on Friday. We all saw it coming, but are you guys excited? They haven't said that he's wrestling in a match, so we're still might be waiting for that return in match action for the first time since WrestleMania, but we are going to have Roman Reigns return to the show on Friday. Do you all think that we have matches coming, or is this just going to be more promo violence type of work going on?
I feel like it's going to be along those lines, but he sells, though. His aura sells. Just announcing he's going to be there is exciting, because at this point, I think what's so exciting about the Roman thing is we have no idea where this is going. Where in previous years, you knew every time, you knew what the rivalry was, you knew he was going to win until the Cody thing came up. You kind of knew. Not saying that it was bad, because he put out fantastic performances, but this is different. This is face. This is real legit. We love Roman face, right? Anti-hero type face, and we don't know where it's going to go week to week just yet. Because obviously Solo Sikoa, that could be that. Will he turn? I use turn in quotes. Cody Rhodes? Is that going to be something? Is there somebody else coming out of left field that's going to distract him? I feel like it's still going to be the Bloodline situation, but we don't know how it's going to fit. Survivor Series is coming up. It's exciting to me because this is a new direction for Roman, and it's where he's wanted as a face. Whereas years ago, I don't know if you know, KD, they hated that man when he was a good guy.
Heard.
Yeah,
I've heard.
Hated him.
I'm feeling great about Roman Reigns coming back. I'm feeling great about the build up to Bad Blood. We've talked about it before. Bloodline at Bad Blood. It's something epic is going to happen. And part of me thinks that you're leading to this later on in the episode, and we could talk about it then. But I think this is a great chance for The Rock to return, to set up himself into the Bloodline storyline, get him involved with Roman Reigns, and eventually Cody Rhodes.
Yeah, I think, and no, see, I know you're waiting to get into this, but I think the lineup of having the Cody Rhodes versus Solo Sikoa, which we haven't had a chance to talk about, the lineup of that being a cage match on the season premiere of SmackDown, coinciding with Roman Reigns being in the building. I mean, you can't ask for much more than this.
Yeah, you know what's going down, and what's going down is Roman Reigns is about to Superman punch Solo in the face again. He's going to spear him again. He's going to make sure that, because at this point the goal is for Roman Reigns not only revenge and getting back the Ulafala, it's making sure that Universal Championship never goes to Solo Sikoa. Right? He does not want Solo Sikoa to get that kind of power. Now, of course, if Solo did, then Roman is the one who can take it off of him. Completely fine, but
that's what I was thinking.
Yeah, yeah. No. So, but hold on, I got this one. Will fuck Solo Sikoa having a title? Okay, just absolutely fucking not. Okay, you talk about
the fact that y'all hate it so much.
No, but it's
even more reason for it to
you're marking out.
Hear me out. Hear me out.
Let's go home. You don't
hear me out. Hear me out. It's not simply because I don't know Solo as a person. He's probably a great dude. You know, Solo, we're kayfabing right now. You're probably a great dude. Probably help out in the community. Thank you so much for that. Okay, probably a great dude. Okay, but sticking to kayfabe, fuck that guy, because he has not proven that he's worthy of an intercontinental title, let alone the universal fucking title. Hasn't even proved that he's worthy of something like a tag team title, which is why the tag team is not on him, but it's on Tonga Loa and Tonga. Jesus fucking Christ!
I'm fine with Tonga Loa though. I mean,
yeah. So my point being, if we're sticking straight to kayfabe, the heat that I have for Solo is not because it's Temu Bloodline and all of that. That's them marketing themselves the way that makes me hate them, which means they're doing their job. But when you talk about being deserving of it, marketing is one thing. Like, they're marketing the dude as a mega heel, and it's fucking working. Congratulations. But what he has not done is actually won matches that matter enough and often enough for us to sit here and see him as a credible universal champion. That belt is on Cody Rhodes. It had to be taken off of Roman Reigns after almost 3 years. It has been held by Brock Lesnar recently. Look at the names I'm saying.
Yeah.
And you're going to put Solo's name in that pool? Absolutely fucking not. So circling.
Let me. Oh,
because I'm calm.
Go ahead.
I'm calm. I am very much looking forward to the OTC reappearing on this week's episode of SmackDown so he can put hands on Solo Sikoa and continue to lead this path towards something that's going to make William Steele's head fucking explode when the two alpha dogs of the promotion, Roman Reigns and Cody Rhodes, team up against the Bloodline.
I got words. I'm hoping this week they kind of keep that, and again, like Josh said, segueing a little bit, teasing the next segment. I hope they kind of keep that Rock Stone Cold, like, hey man, look, we ain't beefing at this moment, but I got my eye on you. I don't want this buddy shit. I want Roman, go ahead, Superman punch Solo, go ahead, spear Solo. But if you're not gonna put hands on Cody, don't put your hand out for Cody. You know what I'm saying?
Okay, that's fair.
I need that tension to continue to build. And if they do this little everybody hold hands at Survivor Series thing, then them two don't hold hands, okay? I still want that energy. Yeah, we teaming up because I don't like these dudes. You don't like these dudes, but I don't like you. You took the one thing that made me, a champion for 4 years off of me. I hate you, but the enemy of my enemy is a friend, is what they say.
Okay, so Will, I have a suggestion. Tell me how you feel about this, right? They get fake buddy, right? And I'll say fake buddy because of what I'm about to say after that. So he puts out, he Superman punches Solo, spears him, puts a helping hand out for Cody, helps him up. And okay, they team up. Steele's head fucking explodes. How dare you? He's throwing furniture over there, scaring his family unnecessarily. And then we get to a situation, let's say Survivor Series, hypothetically speaking. And after they take down the Bloodline, Roman Reigns, then turns on Cody in that match. Like right after that match happens. How would you then feel about that? Would you have that satisfaction? Knowing that whole time Roman was plotting that?
That would be cool. That'd be cool for sure. I am interested though in him kind of keeping along this, and I keep bringing up these names, and I'm sorry, y'all. It seems very generic, but that Stone Cold-esque of anti-hero with Roman. I want to see how long this can go. I feel like if they ended a Survivor Series, they didn't milk it enough. Does that make sense? Like,
the lone wolf aura is working to godlike levels right now.
Let that marinate.
But it's not sustainable.
Fair.
So how much longer would you, just out of curiosity, how much longer would you stretch that? Considering you have to reinsert Jimmy and Uso into this situation at some point, right?
Yeah, I think it all depends the direction is at WrestleMania. If it's truly Rock and Cody, which I just still don't. I don't hate that.
I don't know that it's Rock and Cody.
There's rumors, that. I'd rather see Cody Roman 3, and say after Rumble or something, that's where you see that turn. You
got to have a trilogy of those two. You got to fucking have it.
It needs to be rubber.
Got to have it. It's 1-1. You got to have it. You're giving CM Punk and Drew McIntyre a rubber match in Hell in a Cell. Absolute segue for KD right now.
I wanted to get Josh's take on this Roman kind of thing right now, because it's interesting. You can turn them, but man, this Lone Wolf thing is pretty cool right now.
I think it's another reference back to what you were saying about Austin when he tried to turn heel at WrestleMania 17. I don't think it's going to work for Roman. He's going to be way too over. People are dying to see Roman Reigns. It doesn't happen for me anytime soon. I think he stays mega face, anti-hero face until after WrestleMania. I think if it's him and Rock, I think that to me is the marquee WrestleMania match, and you let Cody fight whoever else. Ooh. You know what I mean?
And then build it up for 3 later then.
Yeah, build it up for 3 later. And you give Roman Rock Mania. You get that event out of the way. That's in Vegas. Like, The Rock is gunning for that.
I forgot about that. Yeah.
Rock is gunning for that, and then you get Roman and Cody later.
Yeah, I think Josh is spot on. I think that it's going to end up being Rock and Roman Reigns at WrestleMania, because we're getting into football season. So I think, that's going to go by quickly. And then once we come out of that and we have, what is that? Rumble is in January.
Right?
Yes. Yeah.
Right. So once we come out of that, I think it's just full steam ahead. But that leads to our last piece of news, is that the rumors are that The Rock is coming back in the next month or two. So that puts us in a window that we should eventually see him. Finally. And exactly. I don't know if he's going to immediately get into matches, but at least he is going to re-announce his presence. They're not going to waste it at Bad Blood, right? So you would think that Survivor Series is going to be the time that he makes that announcement.
The Rock has a special connection with Survivor Series too. That was his first debut in WWE, was at Survivor Series in Madison Square Garden. I feel like that is when you do Rock and Cody. Cody's going to go through a lot of different challengers. I think that to me is when you do Rock and Cody. Let's say, for instance, Rock wins the belt, and Cody and Roman are both in the Rumble, and that, like, those are your last two. So it's Cody and Roman, the last two at Royal Rumble, and
you just blew my mind.
So The Rock would have to hold the title.
But The Rock would hold the title from November to April.
That
as a part-timer,
that can't happen.
The Rock can totally fucking do
that. He can. Okay, so if anyone can do it,
if he wants to
do it.
I mean, if he wants to go mega heel, he doesn't defend the title.
That's true.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Think of the
because he just points at everybody, and he's
he's
like, "You're not worthy. You don't. We're not.
I'm chairman of the board.
What that reminds me of?
I'm a board
Who do you
member.
think you
I'm
are?
the fucking boss. I'm the fucking Rock.
Do you remember when the title was vacant in 2016 Royal Rumble? I think it was 2016, and Triple H won the Royal Rumble for the title, and it was like, what are we doing here? But this would be 10 times better, because The Rock's return earlier this year was so good that you're selling me now on this. As long as he's playing it out, where it's like, hey man, I'm not defending it. I'll defend it when I feel like it's gonna piss off everybody. But that's good heat though. That's The Rock heat. Hollywood Rock. Oh, Josh, you just sold me. I didn't really want that, but I think
I'm with that. And that means this time around, because obviously we all know what happened with the first attempt at Rock versus Roman. But Roman was heel, and not that Rock was heel, but he wasn't entirely face. And it was like, this is my cousin. I just want to prove that I'm better than him. But
it was corny, brother.
You're talking about super mega duper heel versus super mega duper face Roman. Okay, see, that shit hit. That That will feed families.
That's the marquee matchup right
there.
That
will feed families.
And
then
Cody will be big enough to do whatever he wants to do.
Yeah.
And
then
Roman and Rock. I had this all upside down then. I thought when KD was talking about Survivor Series and The Rock, I was anticipating his return within the next month, right? And then they build up to Survivor Series, Bloodline, OG Bloodline versus Rock Bloodline. That's what I was anticipating. But if you're saying come back for him to get back into the Cody Rhodes rivalry for this, that definitely sets up for something totally different, in the 2025 season.
But see, and then then the question becomes, and number one, I'm all in on this, like, holy shit, Josh. But then the question is, I know you said, Cody can do whatever he wants at that point. Yeah, absolutely. He has the cachet to do so. But you can't not have a belt on Cody, right? Because you have to build him back up for WrestleMania 42, which would ideally be the trilogy match between Roman and Cody. So I'm sitting here excitedly thinking about Cody going after the heavyweight championship versus Gunther and McIntyre, and when Seth Rollins comes back, and just that whole battle royale for the WWE heavyweight championship. Cody eventually gets that. He carries that. He ends up dropping it to somebody. Whoever he drops it to is now super over because you just took the heavyweight belt off of Cody Rhodes. And then Cody's like, okay, enough of that. Let me get back to brass fucking tacks. I want my Universal back. And that sets up for 42.
That'll take some creative writing.
That'll take some Triple H, he can cook up. I don't know how you stretch it out, but I mean, I would be willing to see a triple threat, Rock, Roman, and Cody.
At Mania?
Why not?
If he wins Royal Rumble for the third time, which would be like the first time ever, somebody does it 3 times in a row. But if he does it, he could probably ask for that. That'd be crazy, man. Stop it.
I don't know if I want the triple threat for that. Like I feel like I either want the trilogy,
I want the
Cody
trilogy,
versus Roman,
damn it,
or for 41, because I want both things to occur. But for 41, you got to have one or the other. I want either the trilogy, or I want Roman, babyface Roman versus super mega heel Rock for that title, if that title is on one of them. So I don't want to see those three go at it, because for me, whoever takes it, pinfall, submission, whatever, it won't hit the same as if it was 1v1.
But and I'll end it on this: if it is Roman or Cody, they could just pin The Rock, and then the other person can say, "You ain't pinned me," and then that sets up the true rubber match at SummerSlam. But we long term booking here, bro.
I want it clean. I want it clean. I want it clean 1v1.
Into the future now. Yeah,
I want it clean one. It's your fault, KD. You the one mentioned Dwayne Johnson.
I come up with these ideas and then y'all run with it.
Well, actually, it's Josh's fault. It's actually Josh's fault. So
So Josh had the brilliant booking.
Yeah, he cooked up on
to the next level. All I did was just open the kitchen.
You threw the alley up. You threw the alley, and Josh ooped it.
He cooked up. That I tell you, that guy knows how to fluff.
I was just about.
I tell you. That guy, he knows how to fluff.
No. I love my job.
No.
It doesn't blow.
What happens in the pre-roll stays in the pre-roll, my guy. Listen, what we do know is that The Rock is not going to be coming back to Bad Blood. I think we're all pretty.
Yeah, no, that's not big enough. That's not. That PLE is not big enough.
But we do know that there are 3 matches that have now been booked for the PLE. We have Liv Morgan versus Rhea Ripley, the revenge match for the Women's World Championship. We have Damian Priest versus Finn Balor. And then we also have, as No C referenced earlier, the CM Punk and Drew McIntyre Hell in a Cell match to end that trilogy, to get them, over the hump and start to move on to the next storylines. I think the Drew versus CM, for me, that is the most established. Like, CM Punk is the most established long-term wrestler since I've been back into wrestling that's current right now. So to me, that's the biggest rivalry right now. What are to y'all, do you think that is the best current rivalry? Are there other ones that are competing? And then I'll preface this by saying, do this in the context of, do the current rivalries have the cachet? Do they have the swag to compete with some of the better rivalries that we've seen in pro wrestling?
If we're talking in terms of long-term storytelling, So far, I've really enjoyed Drew McIntyre and CM Punk. That feels like an old school Attitude Era rivalry for me. I mean, the fact that they're in a Hell in a Cell match at Bad Blood, that's just picture perfect Attitude Era for me.
Okay.
But in terms of long-term storytelling, which I know Triple H is a gigantic fan of, to me, it still hasn't even come to fruition in a big, bad way yet. For me, I feel like this underlying rivalry that hasn't been addressed since WrestleMania, it was brought up very briefly at WrestleMania, but when it comes back, when we get this rivalry in the mix, I think it will go down as one of the greatest rivalries of all time, and that is Roman Reigns and Seth Rollins. To me, buddy.
So
the way
they were the Shield, right? They were in the Shield together, right?
They were in the Shield.
One of the greatest betrayals of all time.
They've won at it since the betrayal, though.
But, of course. But I'm saying long term. The reason why Roman drops the belt at Mania is because of Seth Rollins. It's not because of The Rock. It's not because of The Undertaker and John Cena and Solo and all of that. The main reason was Seth Rollins. Now you bring that back.
That could cook.
You bring that back, man. That is cinema. That is cinema, dude.
I'm with Josh here. In the current rivalries, I don't think any of them hold any weight with the old school rivalries, like the greatest of all time. But Seth and CM Punk and Drew McIntyre feel so classic to me. It just feels like that. They got them out there every week. It's gritty. This isn't some high flyers. These guys want to whoop each other. It's personal. These guys. I know AEW did the whole Brian Pillman thing, go to the house, with the gun, burn. But this has that feel without having to go to somebody's house and burn it down. It has that feel in the ring, in the arena. So I salute that rivalry. I mean, Liv and Rhea, they got a women rivalry going on. That might go down, honestly. For women, that might go down as one of the best of all time if they really run this thing a little bit longer. This is pretty damn good. And Liv continues to elevate her character. She did this serious promo yesterday that I said, this is another element of Liv that took another step that if keep this Rhea, I mean, I know Flair's coming back and everything. I think I want to see this continue to go a little bit longer, and that rivalry could be one of the greatest of all time for women. Other than that, I mean, you got to put Cody and Roman, right? I mean, it took a break, but Cody and Roman's 2-year run that's pretty intense, man. I mean, I don't know if it's all timer, but at least for this current generation, Cody and Roman's is right up there.
Yeah, for me, and I love, Will, that you brought up the women's division, because I had a couple of women's division rivalries as well. It's thankfully becoming more and more unreasonable to try to keep women's wrestling out of an actual professional wrestling conversation, especially when you have situations like the NXT is being carried by their women's division. For example, shouts out to Jada Parker. I said that just for Katie Drummond. But Roxanne Perez, and speaking of Roxanne Perez, I have, as far as current rivalries go, the one that hasn't even taken place yet is about to be one of the best that NXT has ever seen. Roxanne Perez versus Julia is about to go fucking crazy. That thing is about to go nuts. So you'll see, because those who aren't familiar with Julia are about to find out she is an absolute monster. But Roxanne is also an absolute monster. So that's, like Josh said, that's going to be cinema. Going back to the men's, I'm going to keep to the black and gold brand just because I want to show that brand some love. NXT has been cooking up. Shawn Michaels has been doing a fantastic job. Obafemi versus everybody. Okay, I don't care. Versus everybody. I don't care if you're Tony D'Angelo. I don't care if you're Wes Lee. I don't care who you are. Rich Holland. I don't care who you are. Obafemi versus everybody, because everybody
got to be what's coming, right?
Right. Everybody.
That Rich Holland match has got to be coming, right?
Yeah. Like everybody, because Duke Hudson got his. Yeah, I know. I'm not going to say that. Duke Hudson held his own. It's actually true that Duke Hudson held his own, and that was an impressive match. For as long as it could have been until it wasn't, and Oba put him down. But if you feel the aura around Obafemi, that entire locker room at NXT is gunning for him, dude. The entire locker room. So Oba versus everybody. Now coming back to the two main brands, I like, and I'm going to go again with one that hasn't really started yet, but if they play this out, holy shit, fellas. Bronson Reed versus Braun Strowman. I need this rivalry to continue to level up. You talk about old school wrestling, fellas. How about getting tsunami through the roof of a Cadillac?
Yeah,
yeah,
it was fucking poetry.
Yeah, fucking
Shouts
believable.
out to him. He's definitely elevated his game too.
Yeah, and he's looking in better shape as well. Braun Strowman is. He's starting to kind of chisel up a little bit.
Well, I meant Bronson.
I said this to y'all a couple.
Bronson Reed.
Yeah. I said this to y'all a couple weeks ago. Like I am, I let it be known I'm a fan of big boy wrestling, and I just saw something in Bronson Reed. That dude, I literally laugh. Like I mean, heartfelt laugh. Every time he does something on the screen,
you are sadistic.
Like that is like I just love everything about the way that they've elevated his character since he went crazy the first time. Exactly, the big boy shit.
Shit.
Fucking love it. And what he did last night, like even though I kind of felt like okay, I knew that he was on the roster of people that were going to make an appearance, and I was like, okay, so he's definitely got to interfere in this thing. And I still, when he came out of nowhere with that tsunami on Braun Strowman on the announcer table, I still giggled.
Great
like
camera
a little
angle.
kid. I giggled, man. It was just it's so great how they're playing up his character.
And I need more. I need more of Bronson Reed versus Braun Strowman. I think that rivalry could go crazy and help elevate both of them simultaneously. Kind of like what SmackDown is doing with Andrade and Carmelo Hayes. Andrade was kind of stuck in a rut, and Carmelo Hayes was moving in the wrong direction. This rivalry, this like best of 7 shit that they got going on.
That, John.
Yeah, so both of them are helping each other elevate, and that for me kind of pivots back to the Red Brand. I'm going to say Bron Breakker versus Ilya. Now that Ilya is back, and it was Bron Breakker who injured him in the first place, I think that's going to cook up. Even though it'll be Jey Uso versus Bron for the IC title, I think that Ilya basically let you know that he's not done with Bron. But obviously, headlines of current rivalry. Like Will said, like Josh said, you're talking about CM Punk and you're talking about Drew McIntyre. You're talking about Cody Rhodes and you're talking about Roman Reigns. Those are the platinum standards right now. There are no rivalries in WWE that come close to that. The only rivalry in professional wrestling that comes close to it is Hangman Page and Swerve Strickland over on AEW.
Yeah, now hold on, OC, because we could start talking about that AEW stuff all day, but let's go ahead and wind this episode up right now. We talked about the current rivalry. We talk about what's coming with Bad Blood. Tune in. Make sure that you are smashing that subscribe button to keep track of everything that we're doing on the And New Wrestling Podcast. On Twitter, on TikTok, it is And New Wrestling. On Instagram, it is And New Wrestling Pod. We're on Apple Music. We're on Spotify. Anywhere you want to find us, we are there for you. We'll be back next week. Salute.
And